Yay! Welcome to the opinion poll.
Yeah, it's nice. I know that it's nice to see the three of us on the table, and we cannot wait to see we cannot wait for you guys to see what we have, and I know that we can also now wait to see what you have to say about this topic.
And yes, you know the drill. We have a topic, we discuss about it, we give our opinions, we hear your opinions, and we also hear the opinions from the streets.
Exactly. So
Yes.
it's nothing personal. It's just what we think and what we feel, and it's just the same thing about you, what you think and what you feel, and we just dish it out and then we move on. So
Yes.
can we say what we
I
have?
think this day we should start with what the streets say before we say what we want to say.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's first hear the topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have to at least first hear the topic.
Yeah, so the topic, for those who do not access our Instagram or for those who don't have the Instagram account, let me do you the honor and, read for you guys what we
honor.
have. Yep, so the topic that we have is, does the end justify the means in any situation? If it does, why? If it's, yes, why? Then if it's no, then why? Then to give more clarity, is any method allowed, is it allowed to be used while somebody is trying to achieve something, whether good or bad? So it is the topic that we're going to be discussing about, and I know it can be crucial, but when it comes to somebody, especially when it's a personal matter, then we have to say what we
Yeah, so to give more clarity, when we say does the end justify the means, the means.
think. Yeah.
So at the end result, whether it's good or bad, does it give you permission to have used that sort of means
Yeah.
that you did?
To
If the-
achieve what you
exactly, to
did
achieve
achieve.
what you did, to achieve that end. So did
Yeah.
the means cost you, was it good enough? Was it worth it?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
So as Tracy suggested, let's see what the streets have to say before we come in and before we check what people said on our Instagram page.
Yep.
ngewe ikintu numva nkunze ngomba kugikora kuko aba ari ubuzima bwanjye bigendeye ku buzima bwanjye mbona nta ngaruka kigira ku buzima bwanjye kandi kinyinjiriza nagikora. Urugero nk'ubu hano urabona ko dukora dushaka abakiriya, abantu bashobora kugucaho uri kwiruka ku mukiriya umuhamagara cyangwa uhagaritse moto bakavuga ati wenda uriya mugore ni umusazi niki, bamwe bakaguseka abandi bakagushima, ariko kuko wowe uzi inyungu bifitemo urabikora nubwo bitabigaragara neza muri sosiyete, ariko kuri wowe biba bigaragara neza. Ngewe ikintu cyose numva kimfitiye umumaro niyo cyaba kitagaragara neza muri sosiyete kandi kitangiza umubiri wanjye, nagikora kugira ngo kinyinjirize. Oya, sosiyete bigera ikabona ko ari kiza bitewe na resite ukuyemo, bitewe n'umusaruro babonye, bya bindi bagaga batakiriye neza babonaga ari nk'ibintu biraho bidafatika. Iyo bigize avantage, iyo habonetse avantage bikagira resite nziza, sosiyete irakugarukira.
Amazina yanjye nitwa Jean Paul. Ikintu cya mbere ni ukureba ikintu kigufitiye akamaro kikwinjiriza, kabone n'abantu baba batabibona neza, icya mbere nicyo kikwinjiriza. Kuko akazi kose tuvuge nk'urugero, ntabwo ushobora kwanga kujya gukora nk'ikiyede ngo uri umusongarere ng'iki, ngo abantu ngo nibabibona ngo barabifata nabi, ngo baraguseka. Ni iki cya mbere nicyo akazi kawe kaguha. Iyo kaguhaye ikintu kigufitiye umumaro, wowe wirinda kwita ku by'abantu bashaka kukivuga, babivugaho cyangwa se babitekerezaho. Icya mbere ngiye ntekereza ni uko wowe ikintu kigufitiye umumaro nicyo kintu cya mbere wagaye agaciro, mbere yo guha agaciro uwo muntu utekereza uko abishaka kuri wowe, kuri ako kazi kawe. Ngewe nuko mbyumva, numva icyiza ari uko wowe wareba ikigufitiye inyungu kuruta kureba icyo abantu batekereza ku cyo ukora.
Murakoze. Nge nitwa Zawadi. Ngewe abantu bavuga yuko batakora umurimo wabasebya cyangwa se watuma bagira ipfunwe ntago nemeranya nawe, kubera ko umurimo uwo ari wo wose waguteza imbere, umurimo uwo ari wo wose wagaburira abana bawe, umurimo uwo ari wo wose utagira ingaruka ku buzima bwawe ndetse n'umuryango wawe. Nge numva akazi kari ko kose nagakora, ariko katagira ingaruka ku muryango wanjye cyangwa kuri ngewe. Ubwo bivuze ko ntajya mu buraya, kuko n'ubundi nta muco nawe ndi kwigisha abana banjye, ariko n'ubundi akazi tuvuge wenda urugero akazi gaciriritse kudoda inkweto, kwicara hariya ku iseta nkadoda inkweto ntabikora. No kwiruka gushaka abakiriya hano urabona tuba turi gushaka abakiriya aha muri gare nabikora pe. Ibi akazi kagayitse akari ko kose ariko kaguhesha amafaranga kadafite ingaruka ku buzima bwawe cyangwa ku muryango wawe wagakora. Nge numva wagakora.
Murakoze, nitwa Bazibagira Chantal. Nge ku bwanjye ku ruhare rwanjye ndumva ikintu nshaka kugikora atari ikintu kibangamiye leta, atari ikintu kibangamiye umuco nyarwanda. Nge ku bwanjye numva ngikoze ntacyo byaba bintwaye. Sinakora nyine nanjye cyangiza ubuzima bwanjye, ariko umurimo wundi wari wo wose nta kintu wantwara nkukoze. Impamvu nge nabihitamo ibintu umurimo waneza imbere ntago nawanga, ariko bitavuze ko nagenda ngakora uburaya ntabwo nabukora kuko bwangiza ubuzima bwanjye. Nakora umurimo yaba kuba umushoferi, yaba gukora muri salo, mu kabari ho ngiye ku bwanjye ntabwo nahakora, ariko akandi kazi kose nagakora, yaba gutwara moto, yaba kogosha, yaba kudoda inkweto nabikora. Ariko ubundi mpfa kuba numva ngewe mfite icyo nshaka kugeraho, nabikora rwose ntibigire icyo bintwara. Nitaye ku bantu ko babibona, nitaye ngo baranseka, nge nabikora rwose pe.
Yeah, so I appreciate everybody who pitched in their ideas, but I think they got something wrong, because here we're not talking about, the good things that you can do, that do not harm your reputation in front of, the public or the people that you love or even your loved ones. We are talking about that as well, but we are also talking about some things that can tarnish your name. Here's an example. Let's just give an example of me maybe having unwanted pregnancy. That's how they call it. So I sleep with a man, then I get pregnant. So I am trying to protect myself in the process. I don't want to give birth because maybe, I am thinking, what is the society going to be thinking about me? What about my parents? What about my job and stuff like that? So I decide to, how do they call it? Abort. Yeah, thanks. So I decided to abort. So me aborting is the means that I'm using to protect myself in the way. So can abortion be, the means that will justify the end? So I don't know if you guys are getting it. So let's talk about
the end is her not having her name tarnished, or her having her life back, her regaining her confidence, or her name in society, and then the means is the abortion. Did that end, does it justify the fact that she had to get the abortion?
Exactly.
But man, let me tell you, people have their own lives and they know what is best for them, even though situations sometimes define what is best for you in the moment, and that can as well cloud your judgment and can mess with your thinking in the moment. But at the end of the day, it's that person who is going through that. If you have a pregnancy and you come to me and you tell me that you want to abort, if I can give you advice, but that advice can only go so far because I'm not the one going through that situation. And the way I could be feeling is so totally different from the way you're feeling because you're the one in the situation. So my advice can only go so far because I can only understand what you're going through to some extent. That is why the ends justifying the means is really, really dependent on someone's personal
the person
situation.
Who's going through it.
Exactly, the person who's going through it. So at times, that statement can really, really affect someone because the outside world does have a say. They think they have a say, and then they judge you for your ends having to justify the means and stuff like that. So the same way, an example of Cardi B. Cardi B is the freest person and always talks about how she made a name for herself and she was able to earn some money through stripping. Yes, so that was her first job. That was how she took herself out of poverty. And one thing I like about this lady is that she's not afraid to talk about what she did for herself to take herself out of a situation that was not good for her. Of course, the means was stripping, and I mean, you lose your part of yourself through exposing your body and stuff like that. And so a lot of people judge her as like, how can you be so free about talking about something that is so sacred like this? How can you be so proud of this thing? And then she's like, well, if I wasn't going to take myself out of that situation, who would have?
And nobody would have even
done that, exactly. So no one can really understand something unless you're in it. So she found an opportunity, even though that opportunity is not favorable for everyone, even her herself. I'm sure if she had an option, she would have taken it, but she didn't. So the ends was her taking herself out of poverty and her at least earning a sensible living out of something that she now loves, which is music. But she had to go through something that was probably traumatic for her, or I don't know. But then at least she did something. So it's just an example. I believe the ends justifies the means, but according to the person who is going through the situation, we don't have a right to judge.
Yeah, we don't have to. And please take an example of, a mother who has maybe about 2 or 3 kids. She doesn't have a husband, she doesn't have a job, and then somebody decides to go for prostitution. This is an example because it's something that happens and we face it, on a daily basis. We know it. Or a lady who just, was maybe thrown out of her house because of something else. She comes, she's not educated, she's not, she cannot do anything aside from thinking about only, doing prostitution to earn a living. So what the society does is judging every day. They'll be like, can she find something else to do for herself? But she knows what she wants to do, because in the situation that she's in, nobody's going to, help her out. So she just uses prostitution as the means that she can actually get a better life for herself. So I think the means justified the end justified the means. Depending on somebody who is in that situation, you might think that it's not something that you can do for yourself, but then somebody will find it in a way that is going to be helping him or her to get out of the situation that she or he is in.
Yeah, and before Tracy says, I would like to add something else. Sometimes people use this as an excuse.
Yeah.
And they be like, okay, I'm like this.
I didn't have any other choice.
Exactly. And yet there are choices to be made. So sometimes people use that as an excuse. Yeah, so what's your opinion?
I think it's just a life decision that someone takes, and if in that decision that you've taken for your life is definitely what makes you feel like you are going to achieve or get what you want or reach the maximum of what you want to achieve in life, because in life we never get what we want truly, or sometimes truly what you want to chase is not as easy as we think sometimes. So it really needs a lot of energy, it needs a lot of input and all that. So for you to get to a certain place, or for you to get to a certain bar that you want to set for yourself, it's going to cost a lot. It's going to cost a lot. And the means to get to where you want to get, it's a decision you have to make for yourself. But when you're making this decision for yourself, I feel like there are 2 things that should be involved. One of them is your dignity and your reputation. You're not going to make a decision that is going to ruin these 2 things. Because if you're doing a job that is going to ruin your reputation, or that is going to ruin your dignity as a lady or as a man, then it's going to put future people who want to hire you or who want to do good for you, they're going to want to know. If someone is going to hire someone, they always ask, Uramuzi, what have they done? What do they always do? That's why we have CVs,
I don't agree with that. But
well, I'm not also going to agree with you saying that you have to do things, and then if they are going to make you reach to where you want to go, then you have to do everything. No, because sometimes dignity, when it's lost, it can't be brought back.
So
depends on how you define dignity. Depends on how you define it.
If dignity is lost and reputation is lost, it's so hard to get those 2 back. But rather, if you have no job, you can still start, or you can get your own money and start off a business from nothing. Now, abantu batangira akazi bagatangira from nothing to something.
But they at least have the little money that
They
can
always
use.
say
The little money that they get,
they get it from where?
Listen,
that is the question.
You cannot tell me that someone cannot save even 100, 200 per
Oh,
day,
yeah,
300 per day.
200.
Nagwambia ngo nta kintu ataba afite na gato.
let me tell you.
Nimba ntacyo afite ajye gushaka akazi akabone.
Hey, where? You think it's easy to get a job?
So you
All
think
right.
it's easy to get a job? We're all not in the same
let me tell you,
basket.
I like what that woman said. Umumama wavuze ngo we yakora akazi akariko kose uretse akamusebya cyangwa akababaza umubiri we.
It depends on how she defines
exactly.
it.
So this is my opinion here.
Okay.
So nimba cyangiza uwari we cyangwa respect cyangwa value ntabwo yagikora. Nyine wowe nukutekereza ni opinion yawe.
Okay.
Wowe kubera ko kitakwangiza, you're okay with it. But rather her or me as well, nimba ari ikintu kica dignity or reputation, I wouldn't go for it. Kuko, I'm not going to go for a job where I will lose my dignity and lose everything and lose myself as well. No, I would rather keep searching or think for myself, do everything possible, apply in organizations that support youth businesses, do everything possible to get a job.
Okay,
But
here's an
rather, I
example,
will not do
Tracy.
something.
Here's an
I'm not-
example.
First, wait. I'm not trying to judge anyone who does something that they want to do because they want to get money. Sibyo, I'm not judging anyone who does whatever they do to achieve a certain goal they have set for themselves. But me, I'm trying to say, if it's something that makes me lose dignity or self-value or reputation, I wouldn't go for it. That's me. If the end result of this is going to give me money, if it's going to give me billions of money, my means to that really matters, because it's my means to that is either going to kill one thing. It's either going to kill my reputation or it's going to kill my dignity. But if it's a job, let's say ngaka kazi dukora, right? That means that we came here, we all applied, right? And we're sitting here on TV today and we're doing the job that we applied for. But there are other jobs that I really don't want to mention on screen, that the end goal of it shows the means to it, which sometimes either makes you lose your dignity or your reputation.
Okay, it's just your opinion, but let me tell you guys, here is another example. She said about applications of, jobs. I don't want to be, how do I call it? I don't want to, go into details, but you know that even, office jobs, some people get them because of other means that you guys are, I don't know if you get it.
I get it.
Other means that, a girl has to be, in this shape, you have to treat your boss another way, and it happens. And most of the girls, not most because I don't know any, but some of the girls do it to get the money because, earning a living is not easy, Tracy. And let me give you an example. You said about things of, applying for jobs, getting creative ideas, but let's get an example. If you are not an illiterate person, you're illiterate, you didn't at all study, so you don't have any other option unless doing things that you can do physically, as in with yourself. What can you do?
I go to a vocational school and I learn skills. I go and learn skills. Njene nige kudoda, njene nige gusuka, njene nige gusiga inzara. That's I would go and learn.
Usabjiga, where will the means come from, as in finances?
Sweetie, don't you know of people who are sponsored in school? Eh? Don't you know of people who are sponsored? You go and then they sponsor you. You learn skills. Cyangwa se ukagenda ukabwira umuntu ngo just nabonye uzi gusuka, wambabariye ukanyigisha gusuka. You know people bashyira aho ngaho igipupe and then bagasuka igipupe kiri aho ngaho. Ntabwo byize. It's not everyone that goes through
I
a
get
school.
where you're coming
but you're getting
from.
skills.
Listen, I get where you're coming from, but to some extent, there's some
just too much,
unrealisticness
yeah.
that you're talking about because some things just don't come like
Okay,
that.
which side are you guys on?
Let's-
I don't know the side you guys.
Let's read some of the comments. Can we read some of the comments?
Can we
So-
first know this?
Let me tell you, Trey.
Which side are you coming from?
Njewe, I'm on the side of not judging anybody who does anything for a living.
I
Because-
probably didn't judge anyone as well, but I told you my
let me tell
opinion.
You told us your opinion, but you're telling us from your perception because you have never been in that situation. Guys,
Who told you I've
listen,
not been in that situation?
Let me tell you, if you have, then you wouldn't be saying that. Harumuno, listen, there's somebody who gives you a testimony, bro, and you're like, does this person, can they even survive? Because things are not, all sugar and honey and stuff in the way that we see
In what sense? You give me an example. Kugira ngo nanjye nkumvishe. Because you're trying to say it in a sense of, I'm trying to judge someone because of what they do.
No, you're not trying to judge, but I'm saying you're trying to say something for yourself, trying to
Which is my
justify-
opinion.
Okay, let it
Which
be
is
your
my opinion
Okay.
of what I
Let
think
us
about
know.
this
All
topic.
right, thank
Maybe.
you. So, can we have other people's opinions? So, this is on Instagram stories where we post our opinion polls and we get to hear what people say. So, I am Brenda Karache says we need to consider other people's feelings, which means that they need to consider what other people go through in their situations. I am Brenda also went on to say it doesn't because it's not socially acceptable to take what we want when we want. That's what they say. And then Bunu Williams says exactly the outcome is what really counts. Nobody cares how you get to the finish line, just as long as you get
until
there.
you are the highest peak.
That's what Williams says. And then Miza Lydia says no, because you don't know what will happen after. Those are the opinions that we had today.
Okay.
And yes,
Let me ask you something else before we finish. And this is going to be my last part. What do you think, or what do you say about married couples where you find a woman has killed a man has killed a woman, depending on situations that actually happen. Maybe a man is too oppressive, he really beats the woman so badly, and he doesn't take care of the family, and then maybe the last resolution for the woman is, it even happens accidentally. You find people killing each other between two married couples. And there's this movie I watched, Power Book 2, where Tariq is a son to this man, and he was put in a situation of killing his dad to protect his mom. So do you think the ends justify the means in that situation?
I've actually seen a lot of movies with that situations happening where you're the son and you have to protect your mother through, taking out the source of what is, like, if
even in real life it happens.
Exactly.
You never know the situations, but we find news about somebody who has killed somebody.
I don't know about that whole death part, because it brings about a whole other reality. But if in the end that man is going to kill your mother, I don't have no idea how to even turn my opinion about this, because death is death, and that's something else.
Yeah.
No matter what, no one deserves to die. That's not our place to decide who lives and who dies. So I'm not sure about that, but if it's self-defense is acceptable in society everywhere. If you're doing something to protect yourself, if in the other way you would have been hurt or you would have been killed, self-defense is acceptable anywhere. But we're not God, we don't decide who lives and who dies, so I don't have an opinion about that.
I just think personally it would really depend on how heavy it is. If it is, in my own opinion, killing someone would not be the option, or the self-defense.
If it happens accidentally.
Accidentally,
it is. I would not pray for it to happen to me or any of my people. So all I would do is to maybe head to a place where I know they can help me out. Probably the police, call them and then help me out, instead of trying to defend myself in a way that I might also be a culprit in it.
Okay.
So I would rather report the case than have the case myself.
Okay, yeah, that is really understandable. But I think at the end of the day, this is, a selfish.
But if someone is beating and abusing parents, or doing this or doing
Harassing
like what
you
you
and the
said,
kids.
or harassing, all that. I read something that yesterday, I don't know, this guy called Idris. Is it Idris?
Idris Elba?
Yeah, he wrote something, and one of those things were like, divorce is okay, or separation is okay. Did you read it? It's all okay. What's not okay is losing.
Losing yourself in the
losing
process.
yourself in the process is what is not okay. So if your self or mental health is really important, because it's really important. You can't stand someone beating you or someone treating you like a rag, and yet you have parents, yet you have a family. So rather run for your life. That I'm not giving very bad excuse. I wouldn't tell you to stay in that house when you're beaten all the time. Yeah. But if it's that, then I remember there's a time we had a topic about divorce, and I was like, I would stay. But my dear, there are some things you can't stay.
Oh, see, finally.
Welcome to the growing
because
part.
thank you. Welcome to some one other level that you didn't know. And guess what? You got there when we are not married. Us were there before you. That level of understanding.
I'm not basing on this. I'm not basing this because I am there already. I am basing on it because I have seen friends, and I've seen family, and I've seen people that have gone through so much. And when someone shares with you, you feel like, man, you have a heart. Yeah,
but some things are just too much for people, and you never know. But I was about to say that at the end of the day, this is going to be a selfish decision, because everybody loves themselves. So you cannot give love that you don't even have for yourself. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to be judging.
You can't give what you don't have.
Exactly.
Yeah? Nimba udafite urukundo muri wowe ntabwo wabasha gutanga urukundo. Nimba udafite amahoro muri wowe ntiwabasha guhereza abo muri kumwe amahoro. If you don't have joy or happiness within you, you can't be able to give. So how do you learn to give? You learn. You don't force. Things don't come like that.
It has to begin with yourself. If the end will just justify the means to you, not to the society, not to your loved ones, please go ahead and do you.
Yes. So that's it for the opinion poll. I hope you enjoyed our conversation, the street talk, the opinions on Instagram. Thank you for those who were able to pitch in. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday.
Yep.
Yes. And as usual, we love having to engage with you guys. So stay tuned. We still have a lot more in store. We have a guest.
Yes,
so don't go anywhere.
Yeah, so who do we have on our
Chef
screen?
Blessing with some breakfast tips. Let's take a look at what he has.
Oh my God, he's about to tip us.
Yes, it was really, really helpful, and it's something that you can do for yourself, especially learning. You know, learning doesn't stop, so it's really good to upgrade
Keep
on
learning.
the level. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be right back with the morning boost section.
Let's go.
All right. So we're heading to the physical part of the show. We all know that sports helps you in your everyday to-day activities, makes you alert, mamutke. You go to work, you feel good. When you do sports, you feel lighter in your body, right? Don't you feel that every morning when your dad wakes you up for sports?
Not at all, but I feel something for sure. Let's go.
It was really helpful, and again, we tell you to do it
Can we
on
go
your
swimming
own
one day
pace.
together?
You've always
Some
said
of us do
that.
not know how to swim.
You don't know how to
I
swim.
forgot our friend here does
She did
not
not
swim.
swim.
don't.
Oh my God,
But that's
no.
not the topic. So do it at your own pace, you know. So do it at your own pace, at your own time. You know, schedule the schedule for yourself in the week and see how it turns out.
Yes, so we have a guest right after this. You guys know and
My
love
hair.
him.
Sorry.
We want to make it a surprise, so if you want to know who it is,
But we have an
don't go
American-based
anywhere.
artist. You can guess from.
Did you just speak American English because you're having an American-based artist?
Yeah.
American.
So stay tuned,
I
guys.
can't.
We'll be right back.